I'm now calling to order a regular meeting of the City Council, Tuesday, December 16th at 7 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Councilwoman Wilgenstein.
Here.
Councilwoman McGee.
Here.
Councilman Dwyer.
Here.
Councilman Boyke.
Here.
Councilman Lafferty.
Here.
Councilman Noonan.
Present.
Councilwoman Moore is present. We have a quorum.
Excellent. Next item.
Next item is for adoption of the consent agenda, so moved with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Yes, I would suggest moving item 4D, 4N, and 4O to the regular agenda.
I'll support that.
Without objection.
And just to get a little ahead of us, those will be items 13, H, I, and J. It'll be G, oh yeah, I, it'll be I, J, K.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is the, oh, wait a minute. We gotta go back to 4.
Yeah,
We didn't vote on it, we just voted on adding the,
adding the items.
yes. Motion to table.
Support to table.
Table the consent. I
Yes.
will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes to table.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes to table.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Thank you for catching that, Ms. Moore and Mr. Lafferty. Next item.
Next item is 5, adoption of the agenda, so moved with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Yes, just to reiterate, what was 4D will now be 13I. What was 4N will now be 13J. What was 4O will now be 13K. And adding as a council item as 12E, discussion regarding overnight homeless shelters and warming centers.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes?
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 6A, calendar of pending matters. Motion to receive and file.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 7A, approval of the bills of the general revenue funds. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 7B, approval of the bills of the water and sewer systems. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 8, audience participation for agenda items only.
Members of the audience who would like to address City Council this evening relating to items may do so by filling out a form on the left side of the stage. First up is Mr. Vanderlinden. Go ahead. Oh, Mr. Vanderlinden, turn the microphone on. Okay, you're good.
Joel Vanlin, longtime Warren resident. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to all of you. I wanted to start with the thing on the money going to the park. I think it's $400,000, $40,000, what? Anyways, with the mayor having let everybody know that we're in the red and we don't have all this money and all this other stuff, I recommend that we turn it down. Maybe the public needs the money more to keep City Hall running than we do need in putting play equipment or whatever at that park, Shaw Park. I think it would behoove you to double check everything that's going on with that, because if we're not getting free money to build it, we shouldn't build it at all. Not now, not in this economic climate. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. That is the end of audience. Next item.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
A little sad news. K-9 Officer Alpha, whose handler is Officer Todd Benkowski, is being put to sleep on Thursday, and his funeral will be in the afternoon. We would like to thank Officer Alpha for his service to the city. I know this is really, really hard on the officer and their family and his family, so our thoughts are with Todd and his family, and other people are stepping in to help with this, and just very sad. The dog's been through a lot. So our sincere condolences to his handler and everybody in the K-9 unit and PD. Thank you. So, on to some positive, very positive. At this time, I would like to recognize and thank the members of our Community Emergency Response Team, commonly known as CERT. Our CERT volunteers give countless hours of their time in service to the City of Warren. They respond when called upon, assist during emergencies and public safety events, and help protect scenes alongside our first responders. Importantly, they do this using their own vehicles, their own fuel, and often while idling for extended periods of time to maintain safety and security at active scenes. Their commitment reflects the very best of volunteerism and community service. These men and women step forward not for recognition, but out of a genuine desire to support our residents and to stand with our police and fire personnel when help is needed. Tonight, we are pleased to present our CERT members with gas gift cards as a small token of appreciation for the personal costs they absorb in order to serve our community. These gift cards were made possible through generous donations from the Warren Professional Firefighters Local 1383, Commissioner McAdams, the Warren Police Officers Association, the Warren Command Officers Association, the Warren City Council, and the City Council Office. On behalf of the Warren City Council, thank you to our CERT volunteers for your dedication, your reliability, and your unwavering commitment to public safety. Your service truly makes a difference, and we are grateful for each and every one of you. If the CERT members could come forward, and I believe Joe Shear is here, and maybe someone else from fire. If you come forward, I think Captain Hodis, maybe if you want to come down.
Good evening, Mike Riley. I'm the director of the City Warren CERT team. We have many of our members here, Deputy Director Mike Rose, Deputy Director Bill Lejean, and just a small sampling of some of our team members that perform all the tasks you just described. So thank you very, very much for the recognition. We appreciate it. As you said, we don't do it for recognition. We do it for the residents And if any of you are familiar with the CERT team, our motto is do the most amount of good for the most amount of people. Excuse me. And that's what we always try to do. You know, we gotta traffic people, but we try to get everybody back to normal as soon as possible. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
So I'd just like to introduce Sean Miller, our VP, Bill Archer, treasurer. Just on behalf of the Warren firefighters, I want to say a couple of things. Just some background for the community in case you don't know what the CERT team is. These men and women go out when we have emergencies like wires down, large incidents that there's no way we could manage all of that traffic and all those additional resources. We just don't have enough apparatus and personnel. These brave men and women are out in the community doing that. So if there's a wire that's down in a community that we need to go to the next run, these folks come out, secure that scene, wait for DT to come relieve them, or we're keeping it secure to keep the public safe. That's just a small piece of what they do. We opened 2 fire stations this year. These men and women were out there with us the entire day, making sure there was good traffic, people can get in and out safely. Again, just small pieces of what they do every day on their own time, serving the community. So again, on behalf of the Warren firefighters, thank you to all of you for everything that you do. We couldn't do without you, so again, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I will just speak, Mike Sauger from Warren Police Officers Association. They are out doing Shop with a Cop tonight, and they have about 70 kids that they're buying gifts for tonight at Meyer. And he wanted me to express how grateful the police officers are for everything you do. It was actually police officers and fire that was their idea. You know, they talk every time we have an event. You know, we really need to do something for CERT. They do so much, and this is just a small token of our appreciation. We know how much you do. You want to say something, sure. Captain Hodis?
I don't know if I could add anything to what's already been said. The biggest thing I can say is thank you for never saying no. We call these folks in the middle of the night in some of the worst weather out there, and I don't think they've ever told us, no, we can't do that. You are the essence of community policing. Thank you for what you do for your community. I hope, I wish we could do more for you. This is a small token, but for everything you give back, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Does anyone else have any announcements? You do?
I have one.
Do you have an announcement? Any other announcements?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Lafferty?
Thank you. Ms. Moore mentioned Shop with a Cop taking place right now at the Shaner Meyer. And last week, Shop with a Cop also took place at the Meyer on 12 Mile last Tuesday during our previous meeting. And I managed to get over there for a couple of quick photos and shook hands with the officers that are participating this evening. And then Shop with a Firefighter, and the took place on Wednesday. This is labeled as Shop with a Hero, and the heroes do the hard work of taking the children around the store, helping them find the right gifts, and filling the void. In partnership with Meyer and the Van Dyke Public School District, it is an absolutely heartwarming experience to see our first responders out there with the community that they serve each and every day, just giving yet a little bit more of themselves to the community. It's a beautiful experience, so I was honored to participate in that every year. I look forward to that experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing and seeing no further announcements. Next item, Madam Secretary.
Next item is 11A, request of Lori Barnwell, City Treasurer, for the authorization to open a money market account with Comerica Bank entitled City of Warren Police Counter Payment Money Market Account. So moved.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Yes.
I would like to ask the council for a motion to excuse me from this item. I am employed by Comerica Bank, and I have a conflict of interest.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, you're excused. I have a motion on the original item from Ms. Moore. Support anyone?
Support Dwyer.
Support Mr. Boyke. Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
yes,
Rogan C is yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 11B, request to approve the updated or revised poverty application and a change of venue for the Assessing Board of Review meeting. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion?
Madam Chair? Discussion. I don't recall having done this in the past, and was hoping that we had someone from assessing or controllers to briefly touch on this.
Good evening, Council. I'm your new Deputy Assessor, Thomas Monchak.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Good
meet you.
evening.
Good evening. This is a poverty exemption. It's part of the broader context of property exemptions. This is required to be adopted by the local legislative body under 211.7U. That's the General Property Tax Act section that allows the Board of Review to grant poverty exemptions for people that cannot afford the property taxes. And the State Tax Commission does recommend that the legislative body review those and adopt them annually. And the staff has reviewed them from one year to the next and made some significant streamlining suggestions to us, and we presented those with the 26 guidelines that are before you.
Sir, just a couple of questions. The backup material for this particular item is a bit sparse. So could you take us through what those streamlined amendments are?
Sure. For the main thing that we were trying to accomplish was to make it easier on the applicant. One of those things that we eliminated was the requirement for an in-person appeal to the Board of Review and the furnishing of a credit report by the applicant to the Board of Review so that that could be reviewed. Staff had indicated that the credit reports were in some cases valuable but very voluminous and did not really benefit a very large return on the time investment from the applicant and the reviews of the staff. The other thing was the adoption of the state published federal poverty guidelines. That is, in the 26 guidelines, we have delineated the individual household income and 2 tiers, one at 50% exemption, one at 100% exemption, based on the level of income for each household. Let's see. The change of venue was to make it easier for the property owners that are appealing to the Board of Review when they have questions for the assessing department to get the records for the property owner, as opposed to the first floor coming up to the third floor. Sir?
Yeah, I have no objection to the change of venue. I think that's very reasonable. The anticipated changes, though, that you're proposing, and I should say rather, the changes that you're proposing, do you anticipate that there is going to be an uptick in the number of exemptions that are granted in the following year? Oh, your mic.
Sorry, my chair, apologies, my chair bumps into this
Oh, okay.
thing. Go ahead.
As far as the projections for 2026, that is something that each individual case is going to be evaluated on its own merit.
Okay.
So that depends on who applies, the household circumstances for finances, and the documents received.
All right. And how are these, last question, how are these changes communicated to the members of the Board of Review?
The statute requires that the city, if we have an internet website, that those are placed on the website. And for the organizational meeting that occurs at the beginning of March, they'll be presented to the Board of Review. And I anticipate that we'll probably push them out to the Board of Review members prior to that, after we get approval from the council.
Okay, so they have an opportunity to review, ask questions, and understand the material prior to receiving appeals.
That is correct, yes.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you, sir. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Any
further
other
questions.
discussion? Okay, seeing and hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Welcome. Item 12A is legal update from Mr. Schroeder.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Ms. Schroeder.
The council secretary has asked me to address this ongoing issue of the council made a formal request in October for some public records available at City Hall related to the Elected Officers Compensation Commission. The council, in a formal motion that was transmitted to the mayor's office, requested documents related to the Elected Officers Compensation Commission, which would include applications and any draft documents that were prepared, but excluding any personal notes, observations, or interview notes that the mayor may have had. This is put on this body's agenda for every meeting for the last 2 months. And the mayor is refusing to disclose any documents, and it has led to some of the issues we see with the consent agenda. And over the last few days, the council members have forwarded to me a flurry of correspondence from the mayor to the council office expressing legal opinions about what the mayor has to disclose and what the mayor does not have to disclose, including a email on letterhead, actually a letter on letterhead that was emailed today. The mayor signed her own legal opinion saying that she's exerting executive privilege over these documents that are in the mayor's office, and that is beyond the legislative authority of the city council to ask these things. In reading over these legal opinions, which are not signed by a licensed attorney, or not signed by any attorney, I find that the conclusions are incorrect, and that it appears that the mayor may be using this tool called artificial intelligence, or AI, to write legal opinions. And it's really, being a lawyer at a large law firm, we've been warned for the last 5 years about this powerful tool called AI, or artificial intelligence, that, you know, it can help you, it can assist you, and I'm sure people use it in their daily life, but when you start asking it to write legal opinions, the joke I make is that AI is much like your dog, it wants to please its owner. So if it knows that you want a certain conclusion, it can write that conclusion for you. In fact, early in this meeting, I went into my own AI and I asked the AI to make an argument that the earth is flat. And it's given me this long argument that I can make that the earth is flat. Now, anybody who's had a science class knows that that's not true, but it will make the argument for you. And so what we're getting is we're getting these arguments asserting executive privilege, saying the mayor doesn't have to disclose this, it's an intrusion into the executive branch of government. And nowhere in here is there any citation to authority saying that there is some sort of exemption, because these are public records. And I can just tell you that I've litigated this issue before. We went to court, and it was found that the city council has the right to these records. In fact, the very records that are subject to this request, any resident of the city or of the state or of the country, any person, really, an international visitor could submit a FOIA and ask for these records. And there's no exemption under FOIA to say that these records wouldn't be disclosed. Again, we're not asking for the mayor's personal notes when she interviewed people for this commission, but if someone filled out an application on a city form and there were appointments prepared but not sent over, those documents are city records. In fact, if you direct your, you can read the charter, you don't even need to ask AI, you can go to the city charter, section 2.1, all records of the city shall be public unless otherwise provided by law and shall be available for inspection at reasonable times. Section 2.3, papers, books, and records required to be kept by city departments are public records. These provisions set a clear default. The city records are public and accessible. There's no executive privilege. The council has a right under the charter, section 5.3, to compel attendance of any officer or department head and make them produce records or documents. The mayor must report to the council concerning the work of the several administrative officers and departments and secure information and report back to the council as the council may deem necessary. So I can go on and on. We have a lot of citation that these are public records, but I keep getting these legal opinions signed by a non-lawyer telling us that there's some executive privilege. You know, and I go back to history, and, you know, President Nixon cited executive privilege when he didn't want to turn records over to the Congress. We've heard this over and over. The city of Warren is a creation of the state of Michigan. We have a charter voted on by the voters, approved by the state of Michigan, that outlines what the authority of the officers are of this city. There is no executive privilege. Now, there are plenty of documents and records that may not be disclosed if there's a specific exemption. An employee's social security number, an employee's date of birth, health records, attorney-client privileged materials, documents about the purchase of property before the city purchases the property. And that makes sense. If the city's considering purchasing property, you may not want the purchaser to, the seller to know that if the city's purchasing the property, the price might go up. There's a long list of things that may not be disclosed, or there's delayed disclosure in some cases. There is no executive privilege to prevent these documents from being disclosed. And I don't know how more firmly to make that point. I think I have, so I can answer any questions related to that.
Madam President?
Mr. Noonan.
Sure. Mr. Schroeder, isn't the, let's see, the court order, I believe it is, I don't know exactly how to describe this, but from January 13, 2021, isn't that relevant to this too?
Councilman, thank you. You're absolutely correct. There is a court order from January 13th of 2021. This is a lawsuit where the taxpayers of Warren already had to pay both sides to argue this case, and it essentially set forth a process by which the city council requests records from the mayor's office or the administration, and the process of how those documents are produced. And it essentially requires the council to pass a formal resolution, meaning as a body, you're passing a resolution, and that is transmitted to the administration. What that prevents is individual council people from showing up at City Hall at the counter and demanding records without a formal process, okay? That was to prevent that. Then, once it's turned over to the mayor's office, there's a copy, there's a 10-day period for the administration to respond. But if they can't do it within 10 days, because it's a voluminous request or there may be other pressing matters, the mayor's office works with the council secretary to work out an extension and have a reasonable time to produce those records. And that's it. I mean, other than the fact that there was a stipulation in the court order that, you know, the production, you can't, council can't use this as a means for, you know, constantly badgering the administration and making records requests that are voluminous and just giving them work to do. In this case, that's not the case at all. There was a dispute over the elected officers compensation commission, and we've seen all the other cities in the area, their commission met this year and they made their determinations. In some cases, they gave raises, in some cases they didn't. But there was a dispute over that, and then the council had a legitimate interest in finding out who's applied, what's going on. These are public records, as I stated before, and we've already litigated this fight, and there's a court order. So thank you for bringing that up.
Madam Chair?
Just one.
Mr. Noonan still has the floor.
Sorry. What was I going to say? So in this case, the documents that we would expect that we requested should have been provided within 10 days because there's nothing particularly voluminous about it. It should have been straightforward. Here you go. And why, I guess it's just so weird. Why wouldn't they just be handled over? We can only guess, right?
Councilman, I can't really answer that question other than say I agree with the presumption behind your question, which is this should be very easy. I have to assume that if the administration wanted an extension beyond the 10 days, that it would have been considered.
Right. Yeah. We didn't get any requests for an extension, did we?
No, we've received these repeated legal opinions from a non-lawyer making these conclusions that there's some sort of privilege or exemption that doesn't exist.
So
And
there's no
it's really hard to
show
yes.
of attempt to work with us according to the court order.
No.
Okay, I'm just,
Yeah.
so if we had to sue, for instance, which I guess is the next step, one that I have vociferously said I do not want, then I guess we have pretty good grounds for doing so at this point.
I would say the council has very good grounds for doing this. Like I said earlier, if a resident, not even a resident of Warren, submitted a Freedom of Information request, these documents would be disclosable. Why wouldn't they be to the board of directors of the city who are elected in districts and at large to represent the citizens?
That makes so much sense to me. I yield.
Thank you. Ms. Moore.
Thank you. I do want to step back just, when we were elected to this term, there was a little confusion about when we took office. You know, the dates were moved a little bit. But when we had our swearing in, I went to the mayor and said, you have very short time period to have the elected compensation commission meet. It has to meet in '23, and this was November. And there were members of the commission at that point. How many there were, I don't really know. But they had to meet. And I explicitly told the mayor they had to meet in the office, and that was ignored. So I really let it go, although it should have been done, because she was new and, you know, quite frankly, she didn't have a team with her, and anything would be difficult to accomplish when you walk in with nothing. So we let it go. She was told time and time and time and time again, all the way last spring. I think Ms. McGee was standing right next to me when we had a conversation at the Defense Initiative you know, and I brought it up before then as well, and said that commission has to meet this year. It's the state law, it's in the charter, and that wasn't done. So I think this is showing me a sort of a pattern of sort of snubbing her nose at the charter, at the laws, and the rules. And this cannot continue. We cannot run a city this size with this responsibility with the person at the top not following the law. It's dangerous, and it's certainly a waste of all of our time. We're putting way too much time into this, waiting for something that could have taken a half an hour in her office for people to put this together. I think it's reprehensible, this sort of behavior, and we shouldn't have to deal with this. I don't know what we're gonna have to do going forward. I don't wanna go to court. So I guess we'll just keep on doing what we're doing, and see how that goes for the mayor's approval ratings. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair?
Ms. McGee, then Mr. Boyke, then Mr. Lafferty.
According to the letter that we're reviewing, it looks as though she's saying that we do not have a right to appoint. All we're asking for is to review the documents of those who were appointed. We're not trying to make any changes. What we're saying is we want to review those who were appointed to this compensation.
Who applied?
Who applied, that is correct. And we're not, and according to this letter, it's as if we're trying to make changes to the appointees, and we're not trying to do that. We're not trying to do that. So I want to make sure that's clear.
Thank you. Mr. Boyke. You can
Ms.
rock-
Moore, if you remembered at the Defense Initiative, we had a conversation with the mayor there, and we talked about the applicants there, and she said, we have some good applicants. And you replied, yeah, I know one of them. And that was long before the deadline. It's the same thing over and over again. Nothing's being done. My question to Mr. Schroeder, rather than reading these AI emails, which I chuckle, you know, when I'm bored, I read them. But can we subpoena the mayor here and ask those questions on record and get an answer from her directly? What's going on? Would that be a wise thing to do?
The answer is, under the charter, yes, you can subpoena the mayor. Whether it's wise or not is the subject to the collective wisdom of this body.
Okay. But it can be done if the council
Yes.
approves something like that?
Yes.
Okay,
Ma-
that's fair enough.
Madam Chair,
Yield.
I just want to respond.
Sure, you can respond to Mr. Lafferty. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just, in response to that, I think the charter says if this body approves it, this council secretary has the ability to issue subpoenas, but it's only with your approval. So if you so direct me, then that would come out of council office, a subpoena.
But it's just a thought.
Yeah, yeah, and we kind of never wanted to do that in the past. We didn't want to be, you know, but we were trying to do things the easy way, but I
But
suppose.
you don't
we
know,
couldn't.
when you're reading these emails, you don't know where they're coming from. I don't.
They
you
don't
know.
make sense to me.
Executive privilege, I kind of confused.
Yeah,
I got the charter out, it's not that they were executive privilege.
They're reading the emails are very confusing at times, and it circles around, and I really don't know where any of it comes from, but.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. I would entertain establishing a deadline, as we have in the past. Ms. Moore, you spoke to a pattern of behavior with the mayor. Every time we've dealt with this, we've had to essentially lay down the law as written, as it's plainly read, to clearly indicate that she is in the wrong and she has no legal grounds to oppose. The first time we did this with the land bank, so a year ago at this time, and we set the deadline, and I think Mr. Schroeder was at the steps of the courthouse ready to file, and I'll give you the info, I'll sign the land bank deal, I'll sign it. And we got the signature. We saw this most recently with Treasurer Barnwell, and we offered an alternative. What was it, 10 days of mediation, and We got a resolution because at the carrot on the end of the stick was going to court. So I would be more than supportive of establishing a deadline. And Mr. Schroeder, you drawing up the proper paperwork to reiterate the establishment of not only the charter, the authority under the charter, and the 2021 court case that establishes our legal authority, that the mayor absolutely must abide by the resolution of council, and give her a deadline. And if she does not, by her own lack of action, she will drag this to court. And she can explain to the taxpayers why she wants to go through this unnecessary expense after it has already been litigated. That's the thing here. We're not, Mr. Schroeder, correct me if I'm wrong, we are not venturing into untested waters. We have a court case, we have a judgment, and we know what the outcome is. And she is once again revisiting what does not need to be revisited.
Mr. Lafferty, I'm happy to make a motion to whatever date this body chooses, just out of principle. We're a co-equal branch of government. We are a transparent body. There is virtually very few things in the city that are private to anyone. And so, like, simply out of principle, I'm happy to make a motion to set that deadline to pursue court action if that's what's necessary. I'm open to whatever that day may be, but I'm happy to.
Our next meeting would be Tuesday, January 13th, 2026.
So by then, that's fine. Actually, I can't
will
make the
support
motion.
that.
Oh, yeah, I guess I can make the motion, yeah. Yeah.
Just picking up where Councilman Boyke left off a little bit here, maybe council could consider under section 243 of the Code of Ordinances a subpoena for the production of the records by a date and time certain. If the records aren't produced by that time, then authorization to get enforcement of the subpoena, which is, it says in the charter, the ordinance, by petition, the council may invoke the aid of the circuit court in requiring the production of all books, papers, and documents. So we could go down that road. We've already done subpoenas in the past. It'll be very easy to assist the council secretary in doing that. Just give a deadline for the production of the records. It'll be placed in the subpoena, and hopefully we can just have this resolved. If not, then authorize the legal counsel to seek the aid of the circuit court after a certain time. Does that make sense?
Yep. And one more.
I'm amenable to that, absolutely.
Don't we have the ability also for violations of the charter? I think there's up to a $500 fine for each violation of the charter. We're up to like 3 or 4 now, so.
It's in the it's in this ordinance section. It's
Okay.
$500 fine.
Maybe we should start doing that.
Mr. Schroeder, could you cite that in the charter, what section?
Okay, well, I'm looking at actually the Code of Ordinances. It's section 243. It starts at section 2-41 of the Code of Ordinances. So it's actually based on the authority of the council to compel attendance of members and other officers under the charter. So the charter section is 5.3H. That's the enabling section of the charter. The ordinance is in chapter 2, article 2, division 2, subpoenas to appear before council. And it outlines the authority of the council secretary to issue subpoenas with a vote of the full council, how the subpoenas are served. It applies, in this case, it applies to all kinds of things, including books and records, which is really the issue here. And designates in section 243 that it's a misdemeanor for violating this and up to a $500 fine for failing to comply with the subpoena, and that the council can seek the aid of the circuit court in requiring the production of all books, papers, and documents. So, I mean, there's a clear path here on how to get this done in the charter and the code of ordinances.
So, Madam Chair? So I'd be willing to amend my previous statement saying pursuant to section 2-41, the authority of council secretary to issue subpoena, that we receive these documents that have already been resolved by council from the mayor's office or any city office up to that point, and if those documents are not provided for by Tuesday, January 13, 2026, we can enact this authority.
Fully support that. And Ms. McGee is going to call the question since
Call the question?
I made the
She
motion.
had the
Is there any
motion.
more discussion? Okay.
Call the question, Councilwoman Robertson,
Yes.
Councilman Laverty,
Yes.
Councilman Borky,
Yes.
Councilman Dreyer,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
and Councilman Noonan,
Thank you.
and Melvin.
Yes.
Councilman McGee, yes. Okay.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
Next item is 12B, approval of the minutes of December 9, 2025. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 12C, Councilmember Gary Boyke, discussion and rate consideration and adoption of a resolution demanding reappropriation of funds to remediate water pollution discharging from Oakland County George W. Kuhn drainage into the city of Warren. So moved.
Support.
Support Mr. Boyke, and I assume discussion, Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Okay, floor is yours.
The resolution was prepared to show alliance to other Macomb County communities that we're not going to sit back and let Oakland County dump stormwater when it reaches a certain level, opening up the gate to the Red Run drain, which is causing a lot of erosion, flooding basements in Warren, flooding damage to General Motors plant, tech center, and to the military installations we had here. There are some in administration that think it's a Macomb County problem. It is, but it's also ours because of the damage it's causing. And the resolution is calling to notify our state representatives, the county representatives, Candace Miller's office, that we stand by them and support. And we're asking that the Eagle regulate granting them the permits to discharge exorbitant amount of water through the drain. Our wastewater plant doing a great job. We're spending over $100 million to bring it up to date, to state of the art. Our water department instituted a cross-connection program to keep our drinking water, educate the residents on the cross-connection to keep our drinking water safe. We had the opening of the retention pond on 9 Mile. We're doing all that. Oakland County's doing nothing. So we're asking our state to look at us and recognize us that we could use some of the money too, so that we could make sure that the drain operates properly and we're not getting contaminants coming down through our city. And basically, that's what the resolution is. Ms. Moore, if you could read it into record, or I know it's a lengthy one, but
I can. if you
okay,
want.
I appreciate it.
Whereas the City Council for the City of Warren would like to address the adopted resolution dated December 9th, 2025, indicating the need to eliminate combined sewer overflows and decrease inflow and infiltration in communities contributing to George W. Kuhn Drainage District overflows into City of Warren and Macomb County. Whereas for decades, the George W. Kuhn Drainage District, consisting of 14 communities in southeast Oakland County, has repeatedly allowed combined sewer overflows which have discharged enormous quantities of lightly treated sewage, including particulate matter, into the Red Run Drain through Macomb County, Michigan. Whereas when the volume is too great for the GWK to store, it discharges into the Red Run Drain in Warren, which then ultimately flows into Clinton Township and the Clinton River. The concern about the volume and force of discharges from Oakland County into Macomb County contribute to flooding and severe erosion of the banks of Red Run Drain and Clinton River. Whereas the GWK has discharged on April 3, 2025, 820 million gallons of partially treated CSO and 1.2 million gallons of sanitary sewer overflow, SSO. Whereas when GWK discharges, it sends a wall of water cascading down the Red Run, according to Macomb County Public Works Commissioner Candace Miller. GWK's wet weather discharges have contributed to documented flooding of thousands of basements, critical military and Defense Department installations in Warren, such as TACOM and TARDAC, the General Motors Technical Center, and the IDC power grid. Whereas the City of Warren has also invested more than $38 million in underground infrastructure projects that will reduce combined sewer overflows into Lake St. Clair from the Stevens Road detention basin. Whereas the City of Warren on September 23, 2025, awarded a bid in the amount of $110,300,000 for a dewatering and incineration improvement project. The award provides the construction of a new dewatering and incineration building, installation of 3 new dewatering screws. In October of 2025, instituted a cross-connection control program for residential properties. This program aims to protect our public water distribution system by eliminating potential sources of contamination. Whereas we urge the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, known as EGLE, to implement strict enforceable requirements while reissuing the GWK Basin's expired National Pollution Discharge Elimination System, the NPDES operating permit. Oakland County communities should increase their storage and eliminate infiltration and inflow, including separated combined sewer overflow systems by separating the sanitary and storm drainage systems. Whereas we urge EGLE to enforce conditions within the GWK Basin's NPDES permit requiring timely notification of discharges to the Macomb County Public Works Office so they can timely alert the downstream communities in Macomb County. Whereas Oakland County communities contributing combined sewer overflows into the Red Run Drain should be prohibited from receiving state grants for projects, with any such funds available being instead redirected toward financing improvements to eliminate combined sewer overflows in such communities. Whereas such communities should be required to enter into state administrative consent orders with established deadlines for implementation and completion to eliminate combined sewer overflows, including requiring appropriation of sufficient resources to enact and implement as soon as reasonably practical remediation efforts. Be it resolved that the City of Warren City Council adopts this resolution and requests that it be distributed to elected state and federal officials representing the City of Warren, EGLE, and county commissioners representing the City of Warren, urging strict enforceable requirements in the GWK Basin's NPDES permit, timely notification of discharges to MCPWO, that legislative action be undertaken to restrict grant appropriations in the matter as set forth in the preamble, and required that administrative consent orders be entered into or amended in order to eliminate combined sewer overflows and decrease inflow into the City of Warren and surrounding communities. Resolution declared adopted this 16th day of December 2025. It was longer and he made it shorter, just so you know.
Thank you. Just a little bit more on that. I want to emphasize that Oakland County's not doing nothing illegal. Their discharges have been granted by permit through EGLE. But with all the communities protesting that and bringing it to EGLE's attention, I understand that EGLE's re-evaluating their permit process and how much water could be discharged through the drain. So it is working. something that's overdue for us here in Warren. We're the last city to enact a resolution like this, and that's why we're here.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 12B, Council Secretary Mindy Moore, discussion and Ray Animal Control. Motion to approve for discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Madam Chair.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. Just very quickly, we've been discussing this for over a year now. We have a problem with animal control. They're out of space. We'll see on social media that don't call animal control. We don't have any more room to house animals. I think we're short of staff. I think we have a hard time keeping people employed. We probably aren't paying them enough, so we need to look at that. We've talked about options of involving nonprofits and other groups to help us, volunteers. And the perfect spot, I think we've all decided, is Station 1. It won't take very much. The state has come in, I believe, and Mr. Mazzarelli, do you want to butt in or not? Okay, you can if you want. But the state has come in and sort of said what we need to do to make it compliant. We have to do some things in the bays and stuff. And I don't think it's an exorbitant amount of money, about $100,000, give or take. That's a really good spot for it, I think. I'm guessing, once we get up and running, we could even help other communities so that we're sharing our facility and we'll be sharing costs perhaps. But I think we really need to get moving on it. I know we're not moved into Station 1 yet. I think that's, I don't know how soon it's gonna be. Oh. Okay, thank you, Commissioner. So let's really get rolling, and whatever council needs to, we need a committee meeting of the whole, we need to discuss finances, we need an appropriation of funds, whatever we need to do. I think we need to do this sooner than later. You know, people are nice enough when they find a dog to keep it. I mean, I would maybe do the same thing depending on the breed. There's some breeds I'm a little leery of because you don't know a dog's background, and I really give people credit that are willing to house a dog. And you know, people post all over the internet trying to, you know, on social media trying to find the owners. So I really do think it's imperative that we get rolling, and I think everybody on this council is pretty supportive of doing something to help this situation. So I just wanted to make those comments, and certainly anybody else is welcome to say what they want, but I just wanted to impress upon everyone that this is pretty important to get done quickly. Thank you.
Mr. Mazzarelli, you might be able to put the goats in the new animal control. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Thank you. Next item is 12E, discussion, Ray, homeless shelter and warming centers. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Madam Chair.
Ms. Moore?
Thank you. Last week, to my surprise, I saw a notice on social media that came from the city of Warren announcing that Trinity, I believe is a Lutheran church on Chap, was reopening on December 21st. And along with that the city libraries were being advertised as being warming centers. Immediately, I contacted members of the Library Commission and found out that the Library Commission did not authorize the use of the libraries for that purpose. Last year, we had a tremendous amount of problems with the CHAP facility, police, fire, the neighbors, and the businesses in the area. What I further found out was that apparently this is being advertised on the county's website as well, which means we are going to be receiving folks from all over the county. And this is one of the things that created a lot of problems last year, because police cars were coming from, you know, Sterling Heights or other cities, bringing their unhoused or homeless people to the neighborhood. And I heard from police officers in other cities that the neighbors would yell at them, take them home to your city, don't bring them to Warren. So what happens, we have people that are in Trinity, and that closes at 7:30 in the morning, and then, you know, people have just been dropped off, so now they're just left to wander around and go into the businesses. There were reports of urinating and defecating in the properties around the facility, garbage in the residents' properties. Look, we have a problem that we have to solve. This is not the solution at all. And Mr. Gonzalez is here, and I have grave concerns about the staff at the libraries being confronted with this situation. And if I could ask for a suspension of the rules and ask Mr. Gonzalez to come up and speak.
Motion to approve suspension of the rules.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Members of council, good evening.
Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Art Gonzalez.
Thank you.
I'm the president of the General Employees Union, which includes our dedicated library employees.
Thank you.
Our members are deeply committed to serving residents every day, but the administration's sudden, unannounced decision to use our libraries as warming centers without any policy, procedure, or coordination with our union is unacceptable. And let me be very clear, we do not believe our libraries should be used for this purpose. Libraries are designed to be safe, quiet, educational community spaces. They are not equipped, staffed, or structured to operate as warming centers. This change not only places our employees in potentially unsafe situations, but it also discourages families, seniors, and everyday residents from using our libraries they rely on and trust. This is not about lacking compassion for people in need of shelter. It is about ensuring the city uses appropriate facilities, ones that are properly staffed, trained, and funded for that specific function. Libraries were never meant to fill that role, and forcing that responsibility onto untrained staff is both unfair and unsafe. We are asking the city to immediately halt this practice and begin a transparent, collaborative planning process to identify suitable locations for warming services without compromising the mission, safety, or integrity of our libraries. As the representative of our hardworking library staff, I can say with confidence that our members take pride in serving the public. They deserve a safe workplace, and our residents deserve libraries that remain safe, welcoming, and focused on their true purpose. Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez, last year, some of the problems were the bathrooms. People were bathing and other things in the bathrooms, necessitating cleanup. There was one instance that we were told that an employee had to clean up bloody vomit outside
That's correct.
of the library. I think that is unacceptable. And one of the things that probably not everybody's aware of, but last year anyway, when there was a call for EMS services to CHAP, a police car was dispatched at the same time because it was unsafe for the firefighters to be there without protection. So how can we let that same population come into the libraries without protection for our library workers? And dare I say, they are not the same kind of people that our firemen are.
Very true, very true.
And, you know, at the very least, there would have to be somebody there, some outside agency to keep the bathrooms clean, and somebody there to make sure there's no fights amongst whoever's in there. I just think the whole thing is bad. We had committee meeting the whole last year. We talked about all these things and, you know, tried to come up with an answer. And here we are a year later, no talk, and all of a sudden, the same things are instituted that created problems last year. It shows an absolute lack of compassion for the employees and lack of insight and foresight on dealing with things. We had a year that we knew, and we kind of let the whole CHAPS thing go because they were closing, and it was kind of the end. Do you remember the gentleman that stood here just beside himself, but what he had to face? And that's not fair. And maybe this is, not for today, but maybe we need to have some sort of zoning or ordinance that, we did request it? Oh, that we have we requested that a year ago, to have an ordinance to deal with that. Well, I guess we'll have to have Mr. Schroeder write it. He can't write a zoning ordinance. Okay. We'll work on that, because I don't think it's an overnight housing facility is appropriate in the middle of a neighborhood. And, I'm sure I'm gonna hear from Sue from Regal Tire here pretty soon if this starts up again, because the residents will be starting to come into their businesses when they're released in the morning, because they have nowhere to go. It's not their fault, but there's gotta be a better answer than this. I just read that, and I was just beside myself, because I thought, why are we doing this again? And I'm sure, if I were confronted with that situation, I worked in the library, I'd walk out. And I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but this is not it. And it's a recipe for disaster.
Madam Chair?
Yeah, Mr. Boyke.
I'm gonna put my union hat on now, since you're the union rep. I know OSHA doesn't cover warming centers, shelters, but they do cover the conditions the employees have to work in, and they're very strict about it. And you're very right that employees have to be trained on that. I'm very concerned about the people that come in there. They're off the street. They don't have medical. They're sick. They're colds. They need to be treated. That's why they come there. Their clothes are soiled. We have the fire commissioner here, and we have a representative for the police department. They'll tell you the medical condition a lot of times these people are in. So here they are in a library, sitting around, warming around, milling around, coughing, and then you got a family bringing their children in there. It'd be a cold day in hell that I bring my kids in there, I'll be honest with you. And I am totally against this for the libraries. I'm for helping the homeless. We start the shelter on 9 Mile that a gentleman by the first name of Ray runs. He does a very good job. The police department compliments him. But not for our libraries. If someone's sick and they vomit, who's gonna clean it up? Your people? I don't think so. I wouldn't. So, I'll wait to see if there's any recommendation here for the council, and I'm willing to send a letter to the administration to close it down, that we're against it or something like that, because we don't need that there.
Thank you.
I'll make a
We'll resume, I'm gonna resume the rules. Mr. Gonzalez, you can take a seat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I make a motion?
Sure.
I'll yield.
Number one, I would make a motion that until it's closed down, that other cities they should forbid any other cities dropping off people at this shelter, unless they're gonna come pick them up at 7:30 in the morning. That's just not right. We shouldn't bear all of the expense and trouble of housing people. Police, fire, right there. I can go back, and I'm sure I can get the numbers from fire and police, but it was hundreds of calls. And, I'd call too if I was cold, I suppose, and had nowhere to go. But, a lot of, difficulty breathing when it was time to be let out in the morning and things like that. So I would make a motion that absolutely not be allowed. And number two, that the library should not be used for this warming center purpose. The atrium is being proposed at City Hall. Now, if they want to remove that furniture that Mr. Mazzarelli just spent $100,000 on, and, you know, make appropriate provisions for people in the atrium, have the correct supervision, and like all the shelters, when people come in, there's an intake and they check, you know, things. So there's got to be procedures how they're dealing with this, and there's no help for anybody, right? There's no further help, like, you know, just pop in the library. Well, if, you know, use the atrium and have outreach people down there. Mayor has outreach people. Have them go down there and help them find somewhere to go if they need to. Actually offer a service to help the situation. But there's got to be a procedure. You just can't, okay, go in this place with no plan. So I would ask that there be a plan put in place, that if the atrium is going to be used, appropriate furniture is put in there and accommodations, and perhaps people there to manage that, whatever is there. The library should absolutely not be used. Maybe Owen Jacks is an option, I don't know. Maybe Fitzgerald Rec Center is. I don't know what the situation is there, but the libraries are just not the place, and they're not the appropriate staff to be dealing with this situation. So those would be my motions. If anybody else wants to jump in.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Mr. Lepre.
I will support those motions, but I do want to ask, through the chair to Mr. Schroeder, if there's any provision in the charter that would prohibit library facilities or establish restrictions for non-library use of special revenue funded facilities.
The city charter created the Library Commission at section 7.23. The charter is one of those carve-out commissions that appoints its own director. The Library Commission, by charter, and I'm going to read from section 7.23, subsection C. The Library Commission shall have the power and authority to make such rules and regulations as may be necessary for control of the Warren Public Library, and shall approve and appoint the city librarian. So if there's any rules or regulations or procedures regarding this, the commission would have to approve it. It's not clear to me if this went to the commission or not. I'm hearing no. If it didn't go to the commission, it's not in compliance with the charter. This would have to have been presented to the commission as a plan, and then the commission would have to debate it and decide whether or not it wanted to approve or reject it. And so procedurally, it's flawed.
Thank you,
Madam
Mr.
President.
Thank you.
Mr. Schroeder. This, you know, the email that we received this afternoon from the mayor claims legislative overreach. It sounds like this is executive office overreach into the Library Commission's area of jurisdiction. And so I believe we're going to send a letter of resolutions to the mayor's office indicating that we oppose this, that the Library Commission should be directed to send their own correspondence saying that they are not in favor. Maybe they need to have a special meeting to address this and say, we are not going to be using our library facilities for this purpose, and inform the mayor of their decision. I can't speak for them. I'm assuming that everyone that I have heard from is equally opposed to this. I would not take if there were, I'm sorry, I am compassionate for all people, but if my local library had dozens of homeless people in it, and I've got experience with the homeless. I've volunteered for McRest. I've worked in those projects. I understand what they're dealing with, and I would not want my children to be in a shared space with that. That is not the intent here. Absolutely not. And you know, I'll speak to Trinity afterwards, but I want to get to Ms. Moore's motions.
If I may.
Mr. Noonan, go ahead.
Just like the libraries don't have appropriate staff, and the staff has a right to be trained and treated in a safe way, Also, the city doesn't have staff, as much as the atrium could possibly be a location, we don't have staff to staff such an operation, and the city council's blindsided. I don't recommend that we try to have the mayor set up something in the atrium. And I'm aghast. Someone was just saying, is Trinity reopening? And I said no. According, as far as I knew, it wasn't. According to what I knew, Trinity was closing and was being up for sale. So my constituents in that area, I feel very bad for, including the business owners on Van Dyke, who know what happened before. Like you were saying, people were congregating anywhere they could lay down on private property, and then doing anything, any human excrement and so forth that they needed to do right there. And it's very unfair. I think we were started last year on an emergency basis of figuring out what to do, and then the ball got dropped. And to the degree that I might have had anything to do with that, I apologize. But I am feeling very shocked and blindsided right now. I don't recommend that we try to offer a solution, except that I believe the mayor should rescind any statements to the county. If she's suggested to the county that we're have our arms open to everybody who's unhoused, I don't think that's a good idea. And I think that should be rescinded. I think if she says that the libraries are open to everyone, I think that should be rescinded. I think that should be a council thing. I remember last year she said, well, no, the libraries have to accept anybody. They're all citizens, which is a point, but they're not, unfortunately, they're not just ordinary citizens. They require a very high degree of maintenance that we're not actually prepared for. If we want to prepare something in the future, maybe that could be worked out, but right now we're just not ready for it. So I would be voting against something where we were going to use the atrium. I don't think we're ready for that. We don't have any staff that would be ready to do that at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Noonan.
I guess that I'm flabbergasted and I'm unusually speechless.
Thank you. Ms. McGee.
My biggest concern is this. We're coming up to some bad winter months here. DTE has already sent out a notice that, every chance they get that the weather is getting worse, okay? And I mean, we should expect this every year. I've been to the shelters, I visit them, I go by them, Gary been, and you guys also been. Friend of the Father is usually packed with people, overflow, and asking for financial assistance to help them. He provides services to them. And then the other shelter, Trinity, is usually sending people their way. I agree with you. I just don't know how we can stop it, because we have to have a plan as far as the library. You're gonna have people out there in the winter months. Come January, is supposed to be Michigan's worst month coming up here. Where are they gonna go? If Friend of the Father is packed and the rest of the shelters are packed, they're gonna go to the libraries. And so we have to come up with an immediate plan in order to stop them from coming into the library, or they're gonna be coming. I didn't know about different loads getting dropped off at the shelters, because I've been to the shelter where I've seen it as, I've seen teenagers who are homeless living there, trying to come in. And they need assistance. I know Friend of the Father is begging for assistance because he's getting so many people. And they're coming from all over, not just in Macomb County, every county, because they're all full. And as the winter months get even more colder, it's gonna get worse, and we need a plan immediately.
Thank you. So what I'm hearing is Ms. Moore's original motion is to send a letter specific to prohibiting drop-offs from other communities for the spaces, not utilizing the libraries, and then if the atrium is being proposed and would be used, that there be appropriate resources dedicated to that space. Mr. Noonan, is that would you support that third space? Or the third?
Can you expand on what appropriate resources would be?
It's,
I don't know, but somebody, you know, police, security guards, a nurse,
Ms. Moore, what about following the plan that we followed for, I'm sorry to interrupt.
it's okay.
We followed a plan last year in running Owen Jacks as a warming center, an emergency warming center. We had a plan. I don't think anybody disagrees with what Ms. McGee said. We need a plan, and we need a place to send these people to. It's just not the libraries.
you know, maybe they need to send a van at checkout time to Trinity and move the people somewhere en masse so that they're not, just scattering out and trying to find somewhere. Maybe they need to be transported somewhere. I don't know where that would be. Maybe it's Owen Jacks, maybe it's.
If
But
I
he
might,
said-
to Councilman Lafferty, what was the plan for Owen Jacks? How would that run, please?
Mr. Noonan, last year, we had a committee of the whole. We discussed this ad nauseum.
Right.
And Mr. Mazzarelli and the team came up with a plan. They had it staffed, and there was a warming center established during the times that Trinity was not in operation. So it covered the gap, those daytime hours.
Okay.
And then they had a place to go from one to the next during that coldest snap that we had last year.
That was actually implemented.
It was, yes.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so, okay,
So
I can go for that.
I'm the same as you. I don't understand why all of a sudden we're doing something different than we were last year. And, this is, I'm just
Okay.
as frustrated as you are.
Mr. Monserrat,
Sir,
you
sir.
gonna say something?
We did.
Yep, hold on one second. So, Mr. Lafferty, Mr. Noonan, you're okay with what Mr. Lafferty stated?
Yes, I am.
Ms. McGee, you have a question?
I want to know why that plan didn't work, that we had to go to the library. Can, Mr. Mozzarella, can you tell us why it didn't work?
Good evening, Council. We did open it up for a while. That was a temporary solution until Friend of the Father got going. It was staffed by these men and women back here. It was staffed by volunteers after their work shifts, and it was staffed by a minimal amount of Parks and Rec employees. But we didn't have the resources to commit a full-time staff there or full-time police officers there. It wasn't viable but it was a good short-term fix. I think we stayed open for 2 weeks of the coldest part of the year. It was those 2 weeks where it was like 2 degrees outside, and it was a viable solution to get them through that time. I'm not opposed to opening up Owen Jacks in those emergency situations like that. I think Trinity does serve a purpose, although a very flawed purpose. We do have a meeting with them coming this Friday. Public Service, as well as Fire and Police, are meeting with them to address some of the concerns that we had about last year's, how it was ran, and about them kicking the people out right at 7 o'clock. So they had the issues. My property maintenance guys have been fantastic about going there every day after we were made aware of those issues, cleaning up the property, getting the church to clean up with the property. The church was sold. The new pastor, I guess, is working very diligently with Wave Project to keep everything in guidelines. That's why we want to meet with him on Friday to make sure everything is going to run smoothly this year. A friend of our father's does an amazing job. Anytime we've called them up where we've had an emergency situation, families, gentlemen living under a bridge or anything, Ray has been out there in his van and picked them up and talked people through, laundered their clothes, given them a shower, given them a place to sleep, 3 meals a day, and he does a fantastic job. You know, and our guys go there every day to check on them and making sure that they're all right. And, you know, we're doing the best we can out there, but this unhoused situation is not going away. And 2 shelters is not, as many beds as they have is not enough, when it's just not gonna go away.
Madam Chair?
Ms. McGee, are you finished? Yes, Mr. Dwyer.
Yeah, just a couple of questions. In the 2 weeks that we utilized Owen Jacks, did we have many problems there, or did things seem to run pretty smooth?
I believe we only had one little minor dust up, but other than that, I don't think we had very little problems.
And what kind of capacity were we set at?
I think we're set up for like 45, and I don't think we ever actually reached full capacity.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
So the staff that was there, was that just a volunteer staff or paid staff?
At Owen Jacks, I believe we had 2 members from the Parks and Rec staff there, and then the rest was CERT and volunteers from the city that were taking days off and going and sitting there. I know members of the mayor's staff took days off to go sit there. I went down there a couple of days myself, you know, and the rest was we're helping Friend of Our Father get open.
Okay. That's all.
Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. Mr. Mazzarelli, the project, the WAVE project, emailed correspondence. I think all council members were copied on it. I'm going to forward that message to you. And I had penned a response to Mr. Gordon outlining a number of concerns, and he did come back with a response, although inadequate. And I spoke to, I'm not going to read all of my comments to him, but I did call out that they must provide a plan for monitoring the activities of the individuals leaving the facility in the morning and prohibiting them from entering or loitering on the properties of the businesses along Van Dyke, and the same attention to actively monitoring the neighborhood, especially those properties directly adjacent to the church property.
I think a big problem they had last year, from what we've been told, is they were just kicking them out right at 7 o'clock. They weren't allowing them to use the bathroom or anything. It was just get up, you're out the door. So they weren't allowed to wake up, clean up, do their morning ritual. So that's why we had the big problem with that was mentioned earlier.
Yeah. My expectations are that and he did admit that they have a feedback process, and it seems that there was a serious disconnect from the reality of what this council heard last year, and your response was immediate. I remember from
Absolutely.
last year, the next morning, you and Warren Police and the building department were on the property at 8 a.m.
Absolutely.
And you were looking, albeit it was after the fact, but you did take a proactive approach to address the remaining issues. We thought this issue was over because Trinity had sold.
I didn't know they were reopening until about 2 weeks ago myself. I was told that they had no intention on reopening.
So I will send you his response to my correspondence. This and WAVE is a county project. I expect our leadership from the County Board of Commissioners, from Mark Hackle's office, to give any and all assistance to the city. That, you know, as Ms. Moore, as you spoke about the drop-offs, my only other concern for the use of Owen Jacks is that it is clearly communicated to other municipalities that may be dropping someone off, although that we're asking them to handle it themselves. If they are dropping off, they have to ensure that the center remains open. The Warren Civic Theater and other groups are still using that facility, and they were being dropped off, and there's hundreds of kids, and these people are asking, where do I go for the warming center? It wasn't in operation any longer.
Right. And I think if we do open it up, it's gonna be under extreme weather conditions, and I think maybe at that point, maybe we have to forego Civic Theater or move it over to possibly this building
Absolutely.
to make way for our unhoused. I do think that we have a good plan. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be here on Friday, but Mr. Campbell, who did a lot of the research last year with the WAVE project and worked diligently with the police department, he is gonna be at that meeting. I think that they will be able to come to some solution.
I'd like to have council representation at that meeting.
Thank you. Anything further?
I have no other
Madam
questions.
Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mazzarelli.
Mr. Boyke?
I can have
And then
Mr.
I'm,
Campbell
then I'm
reach
gonna
out
call the
to-
question. Mr. Boyke, go ahead.
Very quick. I want to commend you on your generosity, helping out the homeless shelter on 9 Mile. You're like Santa Claus. They're always coming in there with food. They know when you're coming, so appreciate that, you know. But getting back to Trinity, I heard some information today, although it hasn't been confirmed, but you have that meeting Friday. I'm being told that the old management is out of there and it's a completely new team.
I won't know until Friday.
Well, I'm glad that, what I'm trying to say is I'm glad that you're involved, and if it is a new management team, we have to set the,
We're gonna set
know
the
what
bar high.
thank you. Yield back.
Are we able to attend the meeting Friday? I'm sorry.
I can have Mr. Campbell reach out to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to know too.
I am going to call the question based on Ms. Moore's 3 items that she had requested. Yeah. Let's see. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes,
Ms. McGee?
Yes,
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13A, request of the Fire Commissioner for an additional appropriation of funds in the amount of $1,280,646 to cover the costs of purchasing one custom PA-12 body pumper fire vehicle from Sutphen Corporation. Consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
yes,
Ms. McGee?
yes,
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13B, consideration and adoption of a resolution to purchase a new custom PA-12 body pumper complete from Sutphen Corporation in the total amount of $1,280,645.96. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
yes,
Ms. McGee?
yes,
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13, thank you, Merry Christmas, Skip. 13C, consideration and adoption of a resolution to approve contract modification number 6 to the city contract P-22-758, 2022 large concrete pavement repairs, ITBW 0577, increasing the current contract amount by $325,000, resulting in an amended contract amount of $6,389,880 to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions, and to approve payment number 23 to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions in the amount of $401,626.65. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
yes,
Ms. McGee?
yes,
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13D, request for additional appropriation in the amount of $5 million and creation of a special revenue fund, home down payment and qualified home repair assistance program, consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore?
Thank you. This will cover the next item as well. I am tremendously excited about this and very, very proud of the prior council and this council. When we received ARPA funds, we used some of those funds for infrastructure and, you know, different things, but we always had in our minds that we wanted to do something to help homeowners in Warren. And we kept that money, the $5 million, unallocated, and then, was it last year's budget? You know, we talked about that again and agreed that's what we were gonna do. Was the year before. Last November, I had a meeting scheduled with Gary Torgo, who is the CEO, is he the CEO of Huntington or chairman of the board? And I went down to have a meeting and thinking I was meeting with him, and he had assembled people from all over the country in a round table because, you know, we had the idea that we wanted to do something and we just didn't know how to get there. And they had the people around the room with the expertise and the experience that you can do this, you can do that. We brought it to the administration and we started working. We spent months and months, and we now have someone that's going to be the administrator of the program. And this is really, really exciting, I think. There will be up to $25,000 for qualified homeowners to make repairs to their homes. And there's also an opportunity based on income for down payment assistance. And this is something that probably we should have had a press release and a big fanfare about, because I think this is one of the most positive things that's happened in the city for years. We wanted to make people's lives better, and I think this will do it, you know, in many ways. The money won't last forever. It's not, it's $5 million, a tremendous amount of money for all of us, but it'll go fast. Because there are a lot of people, there are seniors all over the city that need to replace their roofs. A new roof is, ask Mr. Fox how much roofs cost. But, you know, I think I paid almost $25,000 for the last roof we put on our house. I mean, that's a lot of money for someone to be able to come up with that's on a fixed income. And so I think this is really an exciting program. I'm sure it's going to help people and be exciting. And in our discussions, I brought up that I wanted that while we're going through this process, I wanted the people's stories. And people looked at me like I was crazy, but now I found out, being involved in the land bank things, that's an important thing to do when you're taking on projects like this, is you want the story. You want the story of the people coming to you for this help. And we need to have those stories so that we can share them. And it's, you know, it gives everybody hope that there are things out there to help them when people feel they're desperate for things. I can imagine what it would be like if I've got my roof leaking and I've got 3 kids to feed and trying to make ends meet, and, you know, looking at this, what would seem insurmountable to most people. So I have a lot of hope for this program. You know, I'm sure I'll be disappointed because I want to help the world, and this won't help that many people. When you take $25,000, that'll go really, really fast. But I want to thank the administration and everybody. Mr. Mazzarelli was involved quite a bit. Mr. Fox was involved from the beginning. I want to thank everybody that was involved. Mr. Schroeder, Mr. Lafferty was at the first meetings, and then actually the mayor brought you in. And I want to thank everyone for their cooperation to get us to this point. It took longer than I wanted it to, but we're going to start it now, and I think that's a very, very positive thing for the city. So thank you to everyone.
Madam President?
Mr. Noonan.
If I could, to Ms. Moore. So this would be for low-interest loans for home repairs, or would it'd be outright grant? To help people stay in their homes?
Yes.
Who have low income?
Yes. Yes.
That's tremendous. Oh, my goodness.
And there are certain things that, you know, it's not aesthetics, right? It is
foundational.
Pardon me?
Foundational.
Yeah.
Electrical, heating,
like
cooling.
porches. Porches are a huge problem.
Right.
In some areas of town.
Yep.
Everybody that walked door to door knows that.
Sure.
It's a problem for our police and fire. So, you know, this is a way, you know, to get things like that. There's not enough.
Okay.
And of course, we'll be inspecting all the homes to see what needs to be done. There might be homes that it's not worth putting in the money and we just couldn't do it. It won't be enough. But
when it comes to down payment assistance, Did I hear you say down payment assistance?
Yes, $25,000, and usually in situations of the down payment assistance, the lenders oftentimes will also contribute up to $10,000, because banks, Jonathan can explain, Mr. Lafferty, better than I, but banks have an obligation to invest and give to the community. Maybe even Mr. Schroeder knows that.
It's the Community Reinvestment Act. Their banks are required to participate, and there's certain thresholds that are established per community, and the banks are obligated to fulfill those.
Okay, so does there have to be a certain amount of money from the home buyer?
Well, they have to meet certain requirements. They have to be able to pay the payment, right?
Okay.
So there'll be some sort of, and I forget, what is our AMI?
1,000.
Up to 80%?
And I think it was 1,000 down,
Maybe.
something.
And there'll be some things attached. They have to go to like homeowner school to know how to handle a home, budgeting and things like that. And one of the plans is also to maybe work with the building trades or to give education. We need to do that in the city now, not just for this program, but we need better education for property maintenance and things like that. I'm sure Mr. Mazzarelli would agree with me on that. We just have to figure out a plan to do that, but I think that's something we should think about.
For sure.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. That's great. It sounds really exciting.
And one of the things they talked about is the new library at Underwood Park, is we have so much space there, because it's in a park, that some of these things could be done there, that they could teach residents certain things, how to do, because you could be outside and do them, how to change a tire, or things like that, or, you know, beyond home repair. But
Library of things?
yes, could
All
have
sorts of stuff.
things to help people maintain their homes,
Uh-huh.
right?
Okay.
If you know how to caulk, teaching somebody how to caulk can, you know, preserve some of the surrounding areas and prevent leaks and things like that. And it's a very simple thing, but most people don't know. But that's something that can be taught very easily, and it's very inexpensive. So there's a thousand things we could do, thousands of things we could do. But this is I think, a great start.
Thank you. Mr.
Madam
Lafferty.
Chair? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and then Mr. Dwyer.
Of the many benefits that Ms. Moore has already covered, I think one very unique benefit that we will never see, because it won't end up on the council desk for action, are the abatements that would have happened had they not applied through this program. We've talked how many times, if only this person had put a roof on this particular home 10 years ago, we wouldn't be here today demolishing a home because the home wasn't properly weatherized. And it's a program like this that, with sufficient funding, can save those homes from ever going down the abatement path.
I want to live in Warren.
It's a great program. A lot of credit to Ms. Moore. She's spoken about this for a number of years, and when we received the ARPA funding, it was the perfect opportunity to capitalize, quite literally.
Actually, I do live in Warren, and sorry.
I was going to skip by that comment, Mr. Noonan. But this,
If you're my councilman, I want to move to Warren.
Aw.
but yes, to Ms. Moore and to the council and the administration's credit, we did it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Dwyer.
Yeah, and the other thing is, this $25,000 in assistance to purchase a home, yeah, it encourages people to go out and buy a home, and I believe it will reduce the rentals that we currently have in the city. So I think that's definitely a good thing as well.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13E, request to award the administration of a home down payment assistance program and a qualified home repair assistance program to National Faith Home Buyers for a 2-year period with options to extend for 4 additional 2-year periods with mutual consent of both parties, consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13F, proposed resolution accepting Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund grant of $400,000 for Shaw Park Playground and accessibility upgrades and new cricket playing field, and increase matching funding by $200,000 to $585,000. I think our numbers are wrong here. $585,200. Consideration adoption of a resolution.
So moved,
Yep.
Lafferty,
You can come up.
with discussion.
Thank you.
I think our numbers are wrong.
Who made the motion?
I did.
You did. Mr. Lafferty, you supported that. Good evening.
Good evening, members of council. This is, we did this back in April of '24. We did pass a resolution, but we did this when first time we did it for $585,000. The 59% matching grant from the city is $585,200. So we just need to approve $200.
Oh, it does say 200 there, but I'm not used to dealing in those numbers here with so few zeros.
So we're short 200.
Correct.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Any other discussion?
You understand my
Mi-
confusion.
Yes, Madam Chair. Mr. Spiller, I have one question for you. We had talked about this at the original grant funding time, and so we've received it. This is going to be cash in hand.
Correct.
All right.
We've been awarded the grant.
Wonderful. So what is your expected timeline?
Well, once we get all the paperwork in, we're working on it right now. Once we get the resolution, the grant will be matched with us, and then I've already talked to the engineering. Most of the bathroom at Shaw has been upgraded, so it is ADA compliant as it is. So just some upgrades we're gonna start working on right away, going out for the playground, getting some of the ADA accessible fixtures in the park. We'd like to get that going and get that project hopefully started by the spring of this year.
All right. You have site plans ready to go to planning department?
We are getting the boundary lines right now together. I'm getting a boundary map put together first. That's required by the state first off. So once we get approved by all this grant, then we can go ahead and get all the specs in for everything we want to do out there.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is 13G, which was tabled 12/9/2025, request of the police department to award bid ITB W1685 to BMW Motorcycles of Southeast Michigan for the purchase of 4 new BMW Night Black motorcycles in the total amount of $154,577.04. Consideration and adoption of a resolution. Motion to remove from the table.
Support.
I will call the question to remove it from the table. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Item is off the table.
Motion to approve with discussion.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Yes. As you know, last meeting, I made my feelings clear that I wanted us to buy American. And subsequent to that time, I did speak with, several motorcycle police officers who explained to me why they felt the BMW was superior to, for instance, Harley Davidson. And I told them that I would support the purchase, but I still felt that the patriotic thing to do would be to buy American. And I still stand by that, but I won't stand in the way of them getting the equipment they feel they need. They're the experts, not me. I just have opinions about it, so. Anyway, I'm in favor of it.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan? Oh, sorry, Mr. Noonan. Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13H, request to confirm the appointment of Sharon Rose to the Senior Healthcare Commission with a term set to expire July 1, 2027. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13I, what was item 4 on the consent agenda, which was tabled 11/25/2025. Consideration and adoption of a resolution to approve contract modification number 1 and final to city contract P25-843 Federal Avenue Pavement and Reconstruction ITBW 1441 for a decrease to the original contract amount by $4,650.06, resulting in a final contract amount of $328,124.34, and to issue payment number 3 and final in the amount of $62,241.84. Motion to remove from the table.
Support Lafferty.
I will call the question to remove the item from the table. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Item is off the table.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Then Ms. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13J, what was item N on the consent agenda, consideration and adoption of a resolution to approve contract modification number 1 and final, and payment number 8 and final to city contract P22770 Ryan Road, 9 Mile Road to 10 Mile Road, pavement replacement, increasing the contract amount with Zuniga Cement Company by $576,028.76, resulting in a final contract amount of $4,859,406.12, and approve payment number 8 and final to Zuniga Cement Company in the amount of $626,208.57. Motion to approve with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
I mean, it's just amazing, these increases that, for that kind of money, $576,000. It's like our bids mean nothing anymore. You know, and, you know, I think we really need to start looking at bids from the quality of the work and not think about so much as the exact lowest price, because in the end, we're adding, here is more than $500,000. So I think we need to change our procedures a little bit and think about quality over price sometimes. That's all.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13K, what was item O on the consent agenda, consideration and adoption of a resolution to approve a cost-sharing agreement between the Michigan Department of Transportation and the City of Warren for the HSIP traffic signal improvements at the intersection of Common Road and Hoover Road, MDOT contract N255512. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
The next item is audience participation on general topics.
Members of the audience who would like to address City Council this evening may do so by filling out an audience form on the left side of the stage. You have 3 minutes. This is for general topics. First up is Joel Vanderlinden, and then second is Jerry Burden.
Joel Valen, longtime Warren resident. talking about items that have popped up before and then faded away and nothing was done. A big talk now on the east side of Warren, I'm sorry, the west side of Warren, is Airbnbs. A large contingency of people want to make their homes an Airbnb. Now, it used to be when I was in property maintenance, that we would look for houses that had more than one families, and we would turn in the information and something was done. But people don't know what a single-family home is anymore. And let me explain. You have a 1,000-foot home, 1,000-foot square home. You have a front room, you have a bathroom, you have a kitchen. These are designated as non-living spaces. You have a master bedroom, which is usually 100 square feet or larger. Then you have 2 bedrooms, boys and girls, call it what you want. If it's only one person, it's 70 square feet. If it's more than one person living in there, it has to be 100 square feet. There cannot be bedrooms in the basement. And I don't think people are really understanding, no basements are allowed to be a bedroom unless they got a specialty window where the fire department can move the grating, jump into the hole, go into the basement that way.
1 minute, Mr. Van der
And
Linden.
an escape route for the people there. Or they have a stairs going down with a door so the people can escape. But if we don't do something about Airbnbs, start working about how we're going to handle it, what we're going to do, how we're going to inspect them, you're going to have the whole west side of Warren be a massive Airbnb. You already have 2 or 3 families in there. That's illegal. Why are we not prosecuting or taking the proper steps? Thank you. Have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas. God
Thank
bless.
you. Mr. Burden, after Mr. Burden is Lori Harris.
Good evening, Madam President and honorable council members. I'd like to speak about our seniors when they have a meal. We get Meals on Wheels 5 days a week at Joseph Coates Stillwell. On holidays, they don't appear because our facilities are not available to the Meals on Wheels people. Therefore, one of our residents decided to have pizza and salad for the non-meals available people. They went to Sean, our director, and he said, let's have a potluck. So we got together with many of our residents, with many of our staff, with you fine people and all my other friends, and we got donations, and we had a tremendous Thanksgiving meal on Thursday. We fed over 40 people, and we had doggy bags for Friday. So we had 40 people that ate on Thanksgiving. We had 40 people that ate on Friday. Many of these people don't have family or no one else close by. So I want to thank all of you and everyone else who participated. Judy and Rhonda from the mayor's office came and actually served for the entire period of day. So I want to thank everybody that participated. And the bad part about it is they looked at me and said, what are you doing next year? And I looked back at them and I said, I think it's your turn. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Next is Lori Harris, and then Jeff Dukowski.
Hi, Lori Harris. I have a couple things I want to ask the council to consider. I'm concerned that if we don't proactively address some issues, we're going to be behind the 8 ball and it won't work. And the issues that I see are making sure that we have an ordinance in place outlawing Sharia law, and also outlawing call to prayer in our community. We have a lot of mosques, and we have, and I understand, I've heard that then we can't have church bells ring. I don't think that's totally, I don't think that's, has to be that way. Church bells ring maybe once a week. Call to prayer 5 times a day is not acceptable. So I'm not sure if that would go through planning or zoning in terms of having loudspeakers on their buildings, on their mosques. The other thing I wanted to bring up that I was hoping the council would look at is the food trucks. And I'm not sure where this all ended up. I thought there was supposed to be an ordinance on food trucks. And there's a food truck in my area that had a very, very large propane tank sitting outside. Well, now it has a honey wagon, and if you're a camper, you know that that's the little wagon that takes your waste out of your trailer, is sitting up outside this food truck, and other random things. And I'm just concerned that we don't have an ordinance, right? Someone shake their head. Do we have an ordinance? We do not have an ordinance. So I'm wondering what it's going to take. You know, I did let the 45. I did let the someone in the fire department know about this huge propane tank, because it was sitting right where someone came off the road into this little tiny parking lot. So I'm wondering what our plan is to make sure that they're safe, and there've got to be guidelines, you know. So those are my things. Merry Christmas to everybody. Treasure the moments you have with your families. For those that don't have families to celebrate with, I hope that you have some joy and comfort in whatever you're doing. Thanks.
Thank you. Jeff, you are next.
Good evening, City Council. I'm calling about, or talking about, a tree I have in the neighbor's house across the street. The city came out and looked at it because the neighbor 2 doors down, branches were falling out of his tree, and I'm talking branches. The tree across the street from me is about 75 to 100 foot tall. And they didn't want it cut down till they realized, to the neighbor across the street, there are 2 huge branches coming from the bottom up that have holes in them. And when the city came out to look at it, he agreed and immediately put an X on it back in, it was either June or July, and he said it would be done by August. It's still there, but these 2 branches, if they come down, one will hit my house. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the other one will hit their house. Now that the city knows about it, who's responsible if it falls? That's the only question I have.
Thank you. That is the end of audience. Next item.
Next item is council response to audience. Madam Chair.
Ms. Moore.
In response to Ms. Harris, we don't have an ordinance, but many cities do require the food trucks to be inspected by the fire department at a bare minimum. So we probably should have that, especially places where.
And they're inspected by the health department.
Yeah, and they're inspected by the health department. So we probably need to look at that. people like them, especially in a city where we don't have that many restaurants anymore, like we used to. But anyway, that's something we can look at the next year. But you're right about that. There does need to be, at a minimum, a fire inspection. Thank you, and Merry Christmas, everyone.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Lafferty.
To Mr. Burden, you did such a fine job at Thanksgiving. Are you doing anything, should we expect a call about a potluck for Christmas to prepare a dish?
We haven't discussed it, I don't have a organizer for that, and I will be gone to the
All right, let us know. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone. Season's greetings, Happy New Year.
Another question. We did receive additional requests for the seniors' Thanksgiving. I posted the information, and people were saying, how come we didn't know about it? I wanted to also, I could have brought food or anything like that, so maybe next time we can market it a little bit more. That's all I have.
Any other responses? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Next item.
Motion to adjourn.
Support Dwyer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Happy holidays, everyone.
This is a wrap.